Oh, come on, David. You want a second round?
Always.
11 or 15, I forget which. Anyway, so 1 Corinthians. But there's no sense here of the elements, the bread and the wine, being in any way sacrificial or being the body and blood of Christ, which we do find in 1 Corinthians. So this seems to be many scholars think it's a very early Jewish text. It's probably been interpolated and edited. It's probably a composite work, but nevertheless they do think originally it was a Jewish work, which when it speaks of the Last Supper doesn't have these sacrificial themes that we see in Paul, for example. I could go on, but I could go on too much, but I'll just mention one final point about the fact that Jesus' death on the cross. The Quran makes an interesting statement. It says, to paraphrase it very loosely, that Jesus wasn't crucified, despite some people saying that he was. Although it appeared to them, the Jews, that he was crucified. The appearance was given. So it's understandable some people thought he had been crucified, but the author of the Quran being God's speech, God knows absolutely what happened because he is God. By virtue of the fact of being God, he knows all things throughout history. So he's giving us insider information about it. Now, the idea of Jesus being killed as an atoning sacrifice is there in early Christianity. It's not there everywhere. There were even biblical witnesses who denied that. Do you know who that might be in the Bible? It's actually someone who denies that. Gospel of Luke. Because it's very interesting. Since the development of redaction criticism.
You mind bringing it up, if you don't mind, Paul? Is that possible? Can you show us that? Or you can only talk?
Do you mind if I just can I just explain why? Because there's a claim.
Well, you've been giving a long speech, Paul. Like, can she get back something? Okay, fine.
I'm not going to engage this gentleman.
I guess just remember everything he said, so you can respond to it. I guess.
Just take over and start.
Oh no! I'll start abusing you, won't I, Paul? That's not what I always do. Meanwhile, you talk for 10 hours, and okay, all right, fair enough. My apologies, my dear chap. I'm so sorry. Please, carry on. Anyway, 1 Corinthians, you were saying. Sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry. No, Paul, you see, you've been speaking for about 10 hours. So I just wanted you to, get her respond to you, maybe, if possible. Go ahead, please. You have about 5 more minutes. Go ahead, Paul. I'm charitable. Good job.
I'll give a very short version of why I think that, and there's a longer version and a shorter version. The shorter version is because of the discovery of the synoptic problem, that there was a literary relationship between Matthew, Mark, and Luke. The consensus view here is that Mark is the earliest gospel to be written, and that Matthew and Luke use Mark as one of their sources, along with Q and M and L and so on. I'm sure you know, if you know this, I won't belabor the point. If you look then how Luke edits Mark, there's a verse in Mark, chapter 10:45, where the Son of Man came not to serve, but to be served, but and to give his life as a ransom for many. Now here we have this sacrificial language.
They're recording.
I'll just finish it off because this sacrificial language.
Don't worry, Paul's handsome.
In Mark chapter
He's fine.
10:45, this verse is deleted or omitted by Luke.
You shouldn't run from the camera.
Redaction of that passage. Now, later gospel writers often redact Mark. Matthew, for example, disagrees with Mark on the law, so he deletes a passage in Mark chapter 7, verse 12. And this is a key verse in Mark that Luke redacts. The second thing that's also interesting about Luke is the Last Supper narrative.
Weren't you making one final point? But now you're making 2 final points.
50 more seconds of it. So in the Last Supper narrative, you get the language in Matthew and Mark of the bread and the wine being the blood and the body of Christ. Yeah. In many of our earliest manuscripts of Luke, that language is missing, and it's a common view amongst textual critics that this has been interpolated and added into Luke. So if you look at the NRSV, Nazem has a copy. You'll see a note at the bottom saying these passages, these words about the bloods and are missing from many early manuscripts. There's almost certainly a desire by later scribes to harmonise all the Gospels to say the same thing.
Almost certainly.
So I'm saying it's not in there originally.
Almost certainly.
With Luke.
They did it, and did it small globally too. So they did it in Egypt, Ethiopia, everywhere, all at once.
Takes over,
well, Paul, you spoke about 10 hours, so hopefully you can respond for 10 hours.
So were we actually starting started this was the Ebionites. You made a claim that the Ebionites were the first Christians.
The earliest.
The earliest Christians.
Yeah, absolutely.
The earliest Christians.
Based in Jerusalem.
Okay, I then asked for your evidence, and you went on to say that, yeah, okay, I mean, you mentioned that Josephus mentions James' brother Jesus more than he does Jesus, which is true, and I agree with that, but nowhere does it describe, none of the sources you mentioned actually describe James as someone who agrees with the beliefs of the Ebionites and rejects the beliefs of the Christian church. So this is
a later term.
Hold on. She's talking. Let her do 10 hours, Paul. You did 10 hours, so let her get a chance. Because she isn't done yet. So keep quiet, Paul. Thank you.
I didn't say you said that. I said nowhere in the sources you mentioned does it say that James subscribed to the beliefs of the Ebionites.
No, that wasn't my claim.
So, Paul, you're interrupting. So let her address your points first, and then you can come back, okay? Let her finish, and then you can come back, okay, Paul? So you talk for 10 hours. No, Paul, be fair. Paul, you get in for 10 hours, okay? If you talk for 10 hours, let her then talk to you, okay? So keep quiet, look pretty, and then... No, Paul, don't run. Paul, keep quiet. Oh, no. So, Paul, all you're here for is to say things, provide numbers, and run away. All right? Well, Paul, that one and that, okay? I salute you, sir. Sir, I salute you. I salute you, sir. Good job, Paul.
There's also a reason why
Damn loser.
crucifixion.
Sorry?
There's a reason why there was a disagreement of crucifixion, because Yeshua was not crucified.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
not true.
hung. Because in Galatians they said, "Curse is the one who hung on the tree." That's what they
I do.
They agree with a hung.
No. So actually, if you look at Roman sources describing crucifixion, and I'm talking external non-Christian sources, some of them precede Christianity, they're going to describe crucifixion as being hanged on the tree as well, whilst describing how your ankles and hands are nailed to a cross-shaped tree.
So there's two things here. Romans used to punish people like this. Remember when Pilate he cleaned his hand, what he said in Hebrew, Baruch Shem Kevo Malkoto Olam Va'ed. So he said, none of our item will participate to the death of this man.
You just said in Hebrew doesn't mean what you translated. Malkotoshim Kevod means make his kingdom be forever and ever.
No, because he said to them, he said to the Jewish people, you take him, deal with him according to your law. So in Galatians, the Jewish law is cursed is the man that are hung on the tree. But because crucifixion, it was killing the people. But when it comes to Jesus, they say they never find fault on this guy, and we are not going to crucify this man. That's why the Jew, they said, you are our king, kill him for us. So remember, Jewish people, they are the people who sacrifice the lamb. So Yeshua was as a lamb, so they are unclean, they can't sacrifice him. That's why they hand him over to the Jew. You are the sacrificial person, hang him for us. So that's the reason why the crucifixion was denied to the Messiah. It was not crucified, but it was a hang. So that's the battles between that area. You know, there are a lot of Christians. The problem is about when you are driving the car, you got to know the signs. Christianity does not know signs. Like when you talk about James here, his name was not James, it was Jacob. James was given the king that he said when William Tyndale, they burned him, he prayed, God, I pray that this book to hand in the hand of the king. So James, when he gets them, he said, translate this according to my theology. Remove that name, put my name. If you look at the James, it's English. The Hebrew is Yaakov. Where is another name? James, where James come from? How can you have names three different ways?
Just a transliteration, that's all.
No, but in the Hebrew it's not James.
Okay, no one's going to say it's James in the Hebrew. We are aware that it's not James in the Hebrew,
Yes,
but
but
we aren't Hebrew. So I speak English only, unfortunately.
Well,
So.
that's the reason why we got to know Jacob is the English way, but not James. So when you begin to put James, it becomes something different. Yaakov is the original. Jacob is English. Where James is from.
I need to clarify that one,
Even
I'm sure.
the name Jesus in the British, the first King James in 1600 was not Jesus, was Yesu. So later,
We're okay with that. We're okay with the find that we translate.
yeah, but because a lot of things is lost, even in the
I
English
don't think
country.
that it's not lost. We know what was said. We know what it said in the manuscript. Sorry, and it doesn't actually change anything. It's like in my country, my name will be pronounced differently than it is here, and that's completely normal.
Well, that's what is different because in Britain, same name Jacob is Yaakov, but James came for kings.
Why wasn't that changed?
Because it's lies. When you stand with the truth, you got to follow the truth. The truth has been translated wrong.
So the truth can be the truth in any language, basically.
No, the truth is if you are hung on the tree, it's not crucified. So when they began to bring everything together, it started to bring a confusion.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thanks for that. We will
Appreciate
think
it.
about it.
Thank you, Eddie.
I hope you don't mind. Did I interrupt?
Oh, no. I mean, I was struggling to get a wording. He was saying
That's what he does.
bullshit
Yeah.
like he always says.
Yeah, so he talks for a long time, and then he says one more point, gives 5 more, then you can respond. And on your first respond, he'll cut you off and give you 15 more.
Yeah, that's exactly what's really happening.
So that's why I like to come and say, oh, well, you see, my dear, what actually?
Lies, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul never called Jesus God. Paul called Jesus God in Romans 9:5, and also the word Christianity was not used until what 80 AD or something. Or what?
So, I mean, he said that the earliest reference to Christianity that we know of was from the year 80, which I'm fine with. Like, fine. But he actually did concede quite a few points. So.
Yeah, he didn't take the Muslim point of view. He went with the Aryan point of view. Of like Jesus is some kind of divine supreme being, but he's not
But
God.
he's created.
But because he's created, but he's higher than everything except for
So
God.
why should I follow Muhammad?
Well, he didn't say he takes that view. He said that
You represent
Arianism would be a more fair interpretation of the Bible than Trinitarian Christianity.
Yeah, that's why the entire Christian world came to defeat us. That's why. It was too close to the truth.
He also tried to, what did he say? He said that Arianism was the predominant view of the early church, and I was like, there were 6 votes in favor of Arian at the Council of Nicaea. And then he
I heard 2.
oh yeah, you're right.
The 318 people,
Yes.
316.
You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you're right.
So what happened? Everyone got swayed?
Well, the Emperor Constantine.
forced them under
them.
threat of punishment.
Of course.
Obviously, they were like,
That's why Constantine was baptized as an Arian.
yeah,
Got you. Makes all the sense now. Freaking idiot. Well, whatever.
yeah.
All right, well, is Siraj bothering you today? He is?
Siraj,
Oh, no, I actually haven't seen him.
Okay.
No, he did come earlier. I was talking to someone, he came,
Uh-huh.
he saw that I wasn't talking at the moment, and then he left. But he was kind of keeping an eye just in case I opened my mouth or
he's
something.
tempted.
That little
Also,
rat.
I heard
Where did Paul go? The guy you were talking to.
Oh,
over there on the other side of the
Oh,
park.
thank you.
I might just go bug him, but let me see if there's anything else happening on the corner.
He wants.
He won't. But I mean, like, I get it's polite, but I don't know. In the corner, just cut people off. I don't know. That's what I would do. I know it's polite not to, but so
No,
what?
that's fair. I should do that.
Because honestly, like, even I would struggle to remember like every single point he makes because he jumps around so much. In the earliest interpretation, I'm like, go away, man. Yes, he sounds intelligent, but his content is like absolutely repugnant.
There was a thing though, like some of the time he sounds intelligent and some of the time he's making up absolute bullshit.
As he goes along.
Like there was this 11-minute video where he was talking about Muhammad and Aisha, where he went through like every single Islamic defense, but it was like so bad that the only people who believe it are like here.
Paul's a strange person. Very strange.
I don't think he's a Muslim. I think he's like after Muslim.
Have you heard that he's left Islam like 6 times?
Oh, okay.
So there's actually this lady on YouTube. She's a Muslim and she hates Paul. I'll find you the reference, but she hates Paul. She's compiled like so in her community feed. she has like evidence of every time Paul has claimed to have left Islam, and by her count, it's 6. So apparently, one of the very first times, he said that the Quran says that Islam is easy, but he wasn't finding it easy. Therefore, the Quran's wrong.
Yes.
So he left.
That is the best reason.
That's like the first reason I've heard it.
Paul Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Paul Williams.
Stop.
Huh? Oh yeah, he ran, but he's Paul. He's Paul. He runs. That's the only Paul I don't trust. Williams. I mean, if you want to give a summary, if you're interested. No? I don't know what happens.
I don't know what happened. What happened? What happened? You have to help me out. I don't remember.
Okay, Paul was lying. A lot. And then he ran away when I asked him to give her some time to speak and respond to his lies.
Yeah.
So, Paul, quit lying and quit running. That's all.
I can summarize the conversation, but
If you'd like to.
over the place, basically.
Well, that's Paul, right?
So, starting with, I was talking to someone else who said that the 3rd verse of chapter 1 of the Gospel of John shouldn't be translated as by him all things were created, but by it all things were created, i.e. the word. I then went into the Greek and I explained to him that the proper translation is him, and the reason why the proper translation is him is because the ending of the word auto there is the word auto there is implied in the genitive case in Greek, and in the genitive case both the neutral and the masculine have the same ending. But if you go to the preceding verse, the word for him cannot be translated as it if the word is him. So the proper translation is the translation that we have in all modern Bible translations today. Paul then came and started talking about Arianism and how Arianism is the more kind of the interpretation of the Bible. Sorry, a lot of things happening. He was then saying how Arianism is a more accurate interpretation of the Bible. From there, he made quite a few points, many different points. And I didn't have a chance to respond. But he also made a claim that early Christians, the earliest Christians were Gibeonites, so they didn't really see Jesus in the Bible. I asked him for his evidence for that claim, and he said that James' brother Jesus was a pious Jew. He mentioned a few sources. None of these sources in any way confirmed that James' brother Jesus was he kind of went through like in that sense, but yeah, it was basically like all over the place. The ultimate message was that somehow the Quran that comes nearly 7 centuries after the lifetime of Jesus is right, and Jesus was never crucified, and Islam is right because it tells us that, and that was the belief of the early Christians. No evidence was provided whatsoever. It was all claims. We kind of touched on how the Emperor Constantine, under duress, convinced the members of the Council of Nicaea to accept the Trinitarian version of Christianity rather than the Arian version of Christianity. Yeah, all these points were basically not like backed up by evidence in any way. But what I found was that we had the standard Galladash where once they realize that they have an idea about what they're talking about, they're going to move to another topic and another topic and another topic until it comes from. Then you have the Dawagang around Jews who are basically clapping how amazing knowledge these people have.
The accent is so amazing.
That's where we are. Do you have any reflections?
That's all I got. Paul, stop running.